Keke Palmer's fans are turning against her for requesting to move the restraining order hearing so her and Darius Jackson can work it out privately. They view it as she is going back to her abuser. But it's much more to this story, so much that Keke Palmer is trying to do preemptive damage control to get out in front of the backlash. When the update hit the internet that she was attempting to work things out privately with Darius Jackson, comments like this were all over the internet, some implying, if not explicitly stating, that she was going to lose her life if she went back to him. Though it was evidence all over the internet that she was lying and embellishing those stories. The major blog sites wouldn't report on it. Everyone essentially believed that he was a monster, and even Abbott and Preach bought her story. I'll get back to that in a little bit. So after all the backlash came in from her fans, her camp had to release this statement. Now, the only part that changed that actually matters is the part where it says Darius Jackson's lawyer won't be available on December 5th. So they had to move the date to sometime in January. It's very suspicious that only the blog and gossip sites received that message from a source close to Keke Palmer. But the news, every last single one of them are reporting it right up to this very minute while I'm recording this, that the two of them, Keke Palmer, Darius Jackson, chose to postpone the hearing so they can mediate a private custody agreement. Now, that doesn't mean they're getting back together, but it's very significant because the restraining order granted her immediate sole custody of the child, and it essentially said that he must stay within 100 yards away from her and the child because he was allegedly abusing her and the child. Once you mediate privately, and if you come to an agreement, then the restraining order is de facto broken. So why not just wait 4 more days and let the court just formally handle it? I'll tell you why. All of the evidence that nobody wants to report on will now be official court evidence that will have her looking like Amber Heard. I'm talking about the audio of her admitting to hitting him for no good reason. The text conversations between Keke Palmer's mom and Darius Jackson when they were talking about Keke Palmer hitting him. The scars and wounds that were on his body that were very consistent with the scars, marks, and wounds that a female would put on someone. He has more evidence on her than what she has on him. And the evidence that she has on him, I'll come back to that in a second and explain what's wrong with that evidence. But first, Abbott and Preach just dropped a video where they pointed out something that I didn't even know. And I've been all over this thing where Keke Palmer, Darius Jackson, and Keke Palmer's mom were all on a podcast together having a blast 4 months ago. What's peculiar about that is that she stated that she knew that he was doing all of these things to her daughter for the last year. So would she really sit right there on a podcast with him?
He does this, she does that, and that's how they do it. Yeah. And Dwayne came back out because they're, Gabby actually received some flack about that. And Dwayne comes back and he speaks to it as well. And here's my thing. I grew up in a home, you and Dad, y'all been together for over 30 years. Y'all
35 years.
I remember when y'all both was doing the factory shift together.
That's right.
Y'all have always done everything 50.
Whoa, wait. This actually got really weird. That's her mom.
That's her mom?
The mom been knowing that this dude been putting hands on her for more than a year.
I went to Sharona's over a year ago and told him that his brother was a...
And they sitting together on a podcast like nothing happening.
Now, Abbott and Preach took the position of, why would she be so friendly with someone who was doing all of these things to her daughter? I say no. I say she was there friendly with him because she knew that he wasn't doing any of those things to the daughter. In fact, none of those allegations came up until they broke up and there was a child custody situation at hand, and removing a stay-at-home baby daddy from your house probably was an issue. She told the world a false story and her fans were riding for her. But now that it's time to put up or shut up in the courtroom, she wants to settle it all privately. And if you still think those screenshots prove something, I put all of those screenshots in chronological order according to the timestamps to show what actually happened right there. Click on this video and it'll show you exactly what really happened and why Keke Palmer doesn't want this court hearing to take place.